Buffs say aloha Hawaii from Hawaii, but the streak continues.
And the cross-country team took to the trails this past week.
NCAA also stepping in on concussion safety. Sports Mag now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to CU Sports Mag. I'm David LaRose, sitting alongside Andy McDonald, and it wasn't the greatest start to the football season, was it, Andy?
You're right. Paradise didn't treat them so well. The Buffs and John Embry, new head coach, got off to a rough start.
That's right.
Here we go. Let's take a look at some highlights. Doug Ruppy leads the charge for the Buffs. The front seven is going to be important this year, replacing two NFL-bound Jimmy Smith and Jaleel Bound. Later in the second quarter, Moniz pass batted down by Parker Orms. He's coming back from a knee injury. Remember Invesco Field 2010? That's him. Buffs only had 100 yards in offense in the first half. Two Moniz scampers for touchdowns put the Hawaii up 17-0.
CU came out to start the second half firing and had their longest play of the game, a 52-yard screen pass to Rodney Stewart, just minutes into the third quarter. And then on the very next play, Hanson rifles a 15-yard strike to receiver Paul Richardson to make it 17-7. It looks like the Buffs have a little something going here with the Hanson-Richardson connection. They would hook up one more time, but the Buffs would get within 24-17 seconds into the fourth, were unable to slow down Moniz and the Hawaii offense, losing their 19th straight road game 34-17.
Paul Richardson, big day for him, 2 scores.
The much-maligned Colorado offensive line received a major blow midway through the first half Saturday as left tackle David Bakhtiari left the game with a sprained MCL. Head coach John Embry has him listed as day-to-day. Taking his place will be Ryan Danowitz, a 6'6", 295-pound junior from San Jacinto, California. Danowitz feels confident the offensive line will play much better in comparison to last week's poor play up front.
The thing we really need to emphasize is over-communication, where everybody's on the same page, whether it be a right call or a wrong call. Just everybody needs to be on the same page, because if that happens, everybody's right. And throughout the game, there was just a lot of miscommunication, and some people didn't know what calls were being made, and so we just really need to get together and sync. And if we do that, I think we can have a better outcome for our offense.
The CU Athletic Department will recognize its 2001 Big 12 Championship football team this weekend at halftime of the Cal game. Head coach Gary Barnett and other players from the championship team are set to be acknowledged for their special season. After losing their home opening game at Fresno State, they went on to win 10 of their next 11 games, including a 39-37 victory over number 3 Texas. Winning the Big 12 vaulted the Buffs to 3rd in the country and earned them a spot in the Fiesta Bowl. Although they lost that Fiesta Bowl, they finished the season with a 10-3 record, one of the best in school history.
Coming up next, the Buffs are looking for some revenge against Cal this weekend.
And Derek Kessinger and Mandy Atkins take the look on the double team desk to talk a little CU football.
Don't change.
Mom!
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, how was your weekend? Oh, have you studied for jogging? Oh, yeah.
Pay attention. It matters.
This is a family that was almost fed by neighbors who almost volunteered to help them out. Almost volunteered. When it comes to giving, almost doesn't count.
How you doing? I just want regular, no sugar today.
You got it.
Thanks. Hello.
Hi.
Did you eat that whole thing today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you doing?
She's getting big, huh?
Good. Yeah, she is big. Great haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks cute. Come on, let's go. Nice to see you. Thanks a lot.
If only child abuse were this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. All calls are anonymous and confidential. Trust your instincts.
Last season's Colorado-California football game wasn't pretty as the Buffs were blown out in Berkeley. CU will be out for revenge on Saturday as they host the Golden Bears at Folsom. Josh Rising has more.
A year ago, the CU Buffs matched up with the Cal Golden Bears in a preview of what life would be like with future opponents in the Pac-12. The day began with excitement and ended with disappointment. The game seemed as though it could not end soon enough as the Buffs lost 52-7, and it was not soon forgotten.
It was big time loss. So the game on Saturday, I'm thinking we're coming back. We're going to prove it to them and be our first real Pac-10 game.
All I remember about the game from last season was it was the worst beating I have ever seen CU take in my entire life.
Fans still remember what happened last season, but the players are the ones that lived it and still remember what happened against Cal. With the Golden Bears up next, the game from last season is fresh on the players' minds.
But this game, a lot of guys embarrassed themselves last year and kind of want revenge, but we're not going to say that. I kind of wanted to play him again and get after him again.
The 2001 team being honored and Coach Embry's first game at home, players have amped up practice to show redemption, understanding that they can play better than the performance that was put on in Berkeley last season. But after the thrashing the Bears gave the Buffs last season, the team is out to redeem themselves in front of the home crowd. But better yet, get revenge on the newest conference foe. Josh Rising, CU Sports Mag.
Although the matchup with the Cal Bears is not an official Pac-12 bout, it helps us start an 11-part series on the Buffalo's new conference opponents. Over 11 weeks this semester, we will be profiling CU's new conference foes. Here and now, starting with Cal, Ron Knabenbauer has a report.
Following their 52-7 beatdown on Colorado last September, the California Golden Bears season didn't go any better than the Buffs. They lost 7 of their next 10 games, finished with the exact same record as CU at 5-7, and missed a bowl game for the first time in 7 years.
We'll get back. It was uncharacteristic last year. We've been to however straight bowl games we've been to every year that coach has been here. So we expect nothing less than a bowl game win this year.
That 5-7 record of the Bears is deceiving, however, as in 3 of their losses, they were defeated by 3 points or less.
We're 6 points away from being 8-4. It was a tough conference, and unfortunately things happen and we were on the downside. But stuff like that happens.
The running abilities of Hawaii quarterback Bryant Muniz surprised the Buffs last week, and once again the CU defense will have their hands full as they'll face another scrambling QB in the Bears, Zach Maynard.
Once he gets it going, he takes off. He had a run against Fresno. I think it was about a 50-yarder, and it was pretty impressive watching him go.
Due to a scheduling quirk, Saturday's game will be considered a non-conference affair, but expect the game to have the same intensity as a conference matchup.
Even though it's not going to count as a conference game, it's still, they're in the Pac-12, they're in our conference, so we'll treat it like one.
In 9+ seasons at Cal, head coach Jeff Tedford has won 73 games, and he'll have the chance to tie the school record for victories this weekend if his Bears can take down the Buffs. Ron Knabenbauer, CU Sports Mag.
Thanks, Ron. CU just moved to the Pac-12, but there has been recent talk about further expansion.
Derek Kessinger and Mandy Adkins discussed this and the Hawaii game during this week's Double Team.
Hi guys, I'm Derek Kessinger along with Mandy Adkins, and this week on Double Team we're going to talk about the last week in CU football, starting with the Hawaii game.
Yeah, we had 1,500 fans out there to support us, but unfortunately the Buffs took a heartbreaking loss with a score of 34-17, making it our 18th loss on the road.
And even though it was Coach Embry's first game, there were a lot of problems in this game, a lot of things we saw last season. Starting with the defense looked pretty good early on, but they had a weakness exposed early by Hawaii's QB Moniz. He really ran a lot. He ran for 121 yards in this game, right up the middle whenever they would blitz him after the first couple of plays. And that really carried the tone for the first half for the Buffs on defense. And the offense just never really got it together.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially with Tyler Hansen, who just came back from his spleen injury.
And Tyler Hansen completed just over 50% of his passes. He fumbled the first snap of the game and really never got it together. The first half was just sloppy. They couldn't establish a run game. Nothing was going right, and they were down 17-0. Going into halftime, before a second half where they really kind of surged back there. They got within 7, but the offense fell apart again. There were not a lot of good takeaways from this game, but one of the good takeaways was the new punter.
Yeah, freshman Darag O'Neal, this was his first organized football game. He's only played soccer his whole life, but he did pretty well for us.
And that's good taking it into the future, but we'll have to see what happens. Hopefully, coming home this week against Cal will be better than last week against Hawaii. You got to hope for that. And last week against Hawaii, or last year against Cal, we didn't play so well. We'll have to see what happens. But moving on from the game last week, we really want to talk about what's going on in the Pac-12. Texas A&M is threatening to leave the Big 12, which leaves the whole window open in the Pac-12.
Yeah, you know, the Pac-12 is a perfect number for CU. Making it a Pac-16 would be really unfortunate for us because we really want to be in California playing every fall. And we don't want to be playing the same teams we've been playing for the past years.
And CU's president, Bruce Benson, really came out against this last week. He says, we do not want to expand the Pac-12. We like playing in California. That's why we joined. And we're also not sure about the caliber of schools like Texas Tech and Oklahoma State who would be joining the Pac-12 or the Pac-16.
Yeah, Big 12 Commissioner Dan Beebe called a meeting for all the Big 12 conferences presidents, but he didn't want any of the Texas or Oklahoma presidents to be there because he's telling Texas they should stay put.
And this is a big shakeup. Obviously, last year the Pac-16 thing was being rumored, but Texas wanted its own network, and Larry Scott, the Pac-12 commissioner, said no, that's not going to happen. So we'll have to see what happens in the future with that for sure.
Yeah.
So obviously excited for this weekend's game.
Yeah,
we'll have to see
definitely.
What happens.
First home game of the year.
It'll be nice to have football back at Folsom Field. On behalf of Mandy Adkins, I'm Derek Kessinger. That's all the time we have for Double Team. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, guys. With the Buffs playing Cal this week, this brings us to this week's trivia question. Last year, Cal scored 52 points, while the Buffs only put up 7 points of their own. When was the last time the Buffs lost by more than 45 points in a football game?
So after the break, CU athletes take a moment to remember September 11th.
And we'll take a look at how concussions affect CU sports. Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Bloom, former CU student, football player, Olympian, and world champion. But most importantly, I'm a forever Buff, which means I'm part of 240,000 students and alums created by the CU Boulder Alumni Association. The University of Colorado will always be something I'm very proud to be a part of. The years that I spent going to school and playing football provided me with some of the best memories of my life. So come join me in creating lifelong CU relationships and explore the Forever Buff program.
Don't be mean. Clean your machine.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblams, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
What'd she say?
She said whatever.
No, she says that all the time.
What's that?
Hello? I'm on the phone.
Mom, I'm on the phone!
Hello? I'm on the phone.
Who's this?
It's me. I'm on the phone. Mom.
Oh, you were on the phone. All right.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, anyway. Who are you talking to? Kelly? Mom. All right.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
CU cross country team ran their first home race of the season on Saturday. Both men's and women's teams are highly ranked. The men went out first in the 8K journey through South Boulder campus. CU is ranked 7th in the nation and proved it Saturday on the course. It's a tradition to let the youngest runner win the trial meet, and this year it was freshman Amar Musa's turn. The next 6 came in right after him as a sea of black and gold. Next, the women got off to an extremely fast start and put their hard work over the summer to the test. Despite the rising heat, they blew through the course. Freshman yet to don the black and gold, Rachel Baptista led the Buffs through the finish line. Seniors Christian Thompson and Shalaya Kipp say they have confidence in their team after their year's trial run.
Quite a bit. We had a really good summer. Yeah, definitely it feels good. I mean, just kind of a fitness gauger, and this is probably the best time trial. It was our fastest one. Usually I think the time trial is sometimes harder than a shootout.
I think it's looking like a really good season. This is much faster than we ran the time trial in the past, so that's always a good sign.
CU Volleyball's Kelsey English is making waves her first season as a Buff. The freshman has 38 kills on the season so far, the second highest on the team. CU Sports Mag met with English for this week's freshman profile.
I'm Kelsey English. I was a middle blocker coming here, but I've gotten switched to right side. I like it. It's a good switch because middle was a lot of running and jumping all the time, so now it's a little bit easier on me, and I can still I'm really good at slides, the slide hit, so I can still run those. I want to be a really big blocker and shut down the outside hitters and also contribute points to the team with hitting and serving. I like hanging out with all of them, and I think we have some good team chemistry, so can't wait for all the other recruits to come in, and I think all 4 years will be just as good as this year so far. I'm definitely obsessed with Pretty Little Liars. I hate missing it, but me and my roommate, we both love it, so we watch it together. I still like to do a lot of outdoor stuff and sportsy things. I've talked to the track coach, and we're thinking about having me jump as well. Maybe not this year because it might be a little overwhelming, but definitely in the next years coming up.
And Andy McDonald met with people this past week to discuss their thoughts on September 11th.
This Sunday marks the 10th anniversary of one of the most polarizing images in this nation's history. The events that occurred on September 11th, 2001 are forever etched in the minds of Americans. We now look back through the eyes of some Colorado athletes to remember that day.
I remember it kind of it was weird. The whole school went quiet and everyone's TV turned on.
I didn't really know what was going on at first.
They turned on to the news channel and all you saw was it was the first plane that hit. And then, a lot of people actually saw the second plane hit.
I just kind of saw my mom and brother kind of frantic, and my mom on the phone talking to relatives, and just seeing the repeat of what was happening.
Just soul-wrenching, is something that was just totally unexpected and something that I think was hard for our country to go through, obviously.
Football have been a hot-button issue. Both college football and the NFL have implemented new and more protective rules surrounding head injuries. Sports Mag takes a look at how the CU medical staff handles concussions.
I was a wedge buster. I kind of led with my head and just kind of knocked out for a little bit. Definitely did my job, and I paid for it also.
Senior running back Brian Lockridge knows firsthand what a concussion feels like.
Honestly, you have no clue what's going on around you. You almost forget you have a short term memory of what just happened or occurred, and you just feel relaxed, kind of in a sense. It's kind of weird. You get the relaxed phase first, and then you get the headache later.
But that's just how he felt.
The problem is everybody's different, so what a hit that might make you symptomatic with one set of symptoms might make somebody else symptomatic in a whole different area.
Head trainer Miguel Rueda says he knows not two players are exactly alike, so each treatment is different on a case-to-case basis, which happens all too frequently.
And he is hurt as he goes down.
Last year there might have been a dozen. The year before I think we were up to about 15.
After many issues surrounding concussions and treatment of college athletes, the NCAA has stepped in. December of last year, the governing body of collegiate athletics emphasized concussion safety, writing guidelines for how to handle the situation.
I definitely feel like the NCAA has the student athlete's best interest in mind. You know, ultimately, these young men and women are giving a lot of themselves to an institution, to the sport that they love, and to the actual institution that they want to represent.
And even with the many resources, concussions often go unreported.
You get a concussion, most likely a lot of guys go back in, and they don't know until after the game.
They may not know, number one, or number two, they may not want to lose their position on the field, lose any time playing on the game, or the potential to lose time playing in a game. So sometimes people don't report things.
Although many of the players don't realize it, the lasting effects of a concussion will far outweigh those of a big victory on the field.
You want to be cautious about the head, especially head trauma and all that.
A younger student athlete get concussed, you really have to pay attention to their symptoms, because if you return them back too early, the likelihood of them getting another concussion is significantly higher.
Head traumas or concussions are the second most prominent injury on the football field. Helmets, like this one, can't always protect you. Andy McDonald, CU Sports Mag.
Thank you, Andy.
Right after the break, Leo Wolfson gets the students' opinion for Man on the Street.
And Audie Streetman has our look at this weekend's weather. Stay tuned.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
In an exhibition match, the CU women's volleyball team took on the Slovenian national team this past Tuesday in the Omni Hotels Colorado Volleyball Classic. Early in the match, the Buffs gave Slovenia some trouble going into the third set tied at 1 apiece, but Slovenia took the lead in the third set, going up 10-5. The Buffs tried to battle back, but were unable to hold on, falling 25-17 in the third set, and in the end, the Buffs fell in 4 sets. In the match, Kara Schrader and Nikki Lindau each recorded 11 kills to CU. Defensively, Megan Beckwith picked up 16 digs for the Buffs, while Schrader added another 11 in the match.
CU football home opener has the student body all abuzz with excitement. Sports Mag's Leo Wolfson got the students' game predictions for this week's Man on the Street.
Hi, this is Leo Wolfson hanging out on Boulder Hotspot, The Hill. Thought I'd check out to see what people are thinking about the CU Buffs football chances for this year after their embarrassing loss to Hawaii.
I think they'll do all right, but I think that the fans will for sure be behind them no matter what happens. CU has a strong student body, and I think that no matter how good or bad they do, the students will still be behind them. So.
And who is your favorite player?
You know, I really like Tyler Hansen. I love what he's doing with the team. He's honestly, seems like he's one of the few glimpses of light we have on our team, and I like his style, man. I really do.
Paul Richardson.
Paul Richardson, yeah.
I love him. The guys with the nicest butts. Those are my favorite.
Cool.
So if you have a cute butt, you're my favorite. Woo!
I'm going to say 20 to
24 to 18.
No, 21 to 20, us. Nice. If that's possible. What's your prediction for the score of the Cal game?
You know, I'm going CU 35, Cal 24.
Well, all right.
Yeah, bold move.
Well, there you have it. Seems like everyone's pretty upbeat about CU chances for the season in a new conference. Only time will tell, though, as far as how they're going to do. So we'll have to check that out as the season progresses. This has been Leo Wolfson from CU Sports Mag.
If you want to look up a statistic, where do you go? The internet? How about a book? Colorado Sports Information has taken on this issue and is starting to make their media guides digital. Andy McDonald shows us the newest forms of athletic media guides.
The 1977 Colorado Football Media Guide looks a lot different than its 2011 counterpart. Here it is. The 208-page book can fit on a zip drive and has, among many things, videos inside its countless pages.
My goal there is to keep the attention of a 17-year-old, but put enough information out for his parents.
The media guide's basic principle has stayed the same over the last 40 years.
It's basically the yearbook. So for that season within that sport, we update them every year. That's the definitive information for that sport in that season.
But recently, the concept is changing.
It gives a lot of information for the media who need facts to talk about on air, who need, stats and et cetera, but I think that can be accomplished in different ways.
The technology age has allowed for more experimentation.
The more pizzazz it has, the more it shows off the team and the more it shows off the personalities and what the team can offer beyond its stats, beyond its basic information.
Making it digital, bringing creativity back, I think it's kind of a perfect storm right now because so much more web technology is available.
And the NCAA has followed suit. They have begun regulating the size of a media guide and who it can be given to.
There's still a lot of people in those positions that like to do things the way things have always been done. So I think a lot of schools, you'll see it kind of slowly trickle, and then I think it'll be a domino effect.
Everything's going digital these days. I think they want to kind of start that trend. I think they want to start going with that trend of going digital.
In the end, the future of the media guide will continue to change to help turn the page on college athletics. Andy McDonald, CU Sports Mag. Have you come up with the answer to this week's trivia question? Here it is one more time. When was the last time the Buffs lost by more than 45 points to another football team? The answer? In 2008, when the Buffs played Missouri at home. The Buffs lost by 58-0. Good thing they're not on our schedule anymore.
That's right. And now we'll head over to Audie Streetman, who has this weekend's weather.
Thanks, guys. We have a really mild, sunny weekend to look forward to. If we take a look at our 4-day forecast, you can see that on Friday and Saturday, the highs will reach the upper 70s. We'll even go up into the low 80s on Sunday and Monday. Lows will remain in the upper 40s and low 50s, and we'll have sunshine through Sunday and a slight chance of rain on Monday as well. Also this weekend, CU is taking on California here in Boulder. The temperature midday should reach 75 degrees. It'll be sunny all day. Kickoff is at 1:30 p.m. It's a great chance to get out there and support your Buffs. Also this weekend, if you have some free time, it's a great chance to get in some last-minute hiking. Copper Mountain is expected to reach 68 degrees on Sunday, and it'll be sunny all day. It's a great chance to get outside, get active, especially before those fall temperatures set in at the end of the month.
Thanks, Audie. It's a beautiful weekend. Are you going to make it out to the game this Saturday?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to try to make it out there.
That's exciting.
I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching CU Sports Mag, and we'll catch you next week.